Hello everyone, welcome to our very first show of The Buzz. This show caters to the people who work, play, and live in the city of good neighbors, and that's Hawthorne, California. Topics will range from lifestyle to relationships to finance and much more. Basically, we want to talk about the things that you want to talk about. With that being said, let's meet the rest of our panel.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Murillo. I've been working for the city for the last almost 3 years, ready to talk about ideas, anything we can talk about.
And I'm Francisco Castillo, and I'm a lifelong resident of Hawthorne, and I'm just excited to be here and just talk about our opinions about topics.
My name is Shantae Passmore. I've been working for the city for nearly 3 years. I'm a former graduate of Cal State Long Beach, as we all are, Go Beach, and I'm just very excited about a brand new show. So let's just get right to it. February is known for being the shortest month of the year, obviously, but there's so many things going on. There's Black History Month, there's President's Day, and then there's this little known holiday called Valentine's Day. Here we actually got a chance to speak with Hawthorne folks to give us their take on the holiday. Some say Valentine's Day is a time for love, but is it overrated or just a wonderful social experiment?
So I think it's overhyped these days. I mean, it's nice to get, every girl wants to get flowers on Valentine's Day, of course, or some sort of sentiment. Usually it's from my father, unfortunately.
I think it's sort of a man-made holiday personally. It's supposed to be about people who are in love, catering to the one that they love, that kind of thing. But to me, it's become more commercialized than anything.
As I got older, it's just more hyped up. I'd rather be at home because it's just too busy in the restaurants and stuff like that.
Others say skip the candy, the stuffed animals, and roses, and keep it simple.
Like I've told my fiance and others many times, you're supposed to show your love year-round, not just on that one particular day on February 14th.
Wow, that was interesting. I mean, Francisco, you're a guy. What's your whole take on Valentine's Day?
You know what? I am going to go for I believe everybody should have at least one Valentine's Day. Not saying that should be the only day that we should, tell each other that we love each other, or if it's a significant other or family or whatnot. But that Valentine's Day, I mean, it's there for a reason. It's there for us to, no matter what we're doing, acknowledge it. Tell that person that you love them. If you're, with a significant other, yeah, let's go out to dinner. I forget work. It's fine. At nighttime, we're gonna go out, have a good time, no matter what.
So you don't see it as being a commercial profit holiday then?
Not really. I mean, St. Valentine's Day, it's with the saint. It has to do with the saint. It's the saint of love, and I feel like we should definitely acknowledge it. Participate, and that's why we have it there.
Sorry, Francisco, I see the total opposite side of it. It probably goes back to high school. I wasn't in a relationship. I believed it's a Hallmark holiday. Always, and even now, I've been in a relationship for quite some time. And yeah, we really don't celebrate Valentine's. We do it all year. We go on dinner dates and all those sort of things. So I don't think that we have to set a day aside to do the expensive flowers, the chocolate, all that stuff. I'm not one of those girls you need to cater to like that.
So what do you do on Valentine's Day?
Work, do whatever we got to do, and we still have dinner.
I'm split on the issue. I like the idea that it's a day of celebrating love. Maybe it is a wonderful social experiment, but it definitely is a commercial profit sort of holiday. It is a Hallmark holiday. I don't know, myself, I'm single. I remember when I was in relationships, though, it was just kind of a big deal, and we didn't necessarily have to go out. I definitely love, being at home, cooking the dinner, maybe watching a movie. So I buy into the fantasy, I guess. Maybe I'm a sucker for it, I don't know.
I just think everything's overpriced. I mean, flowers, a dozen of flowers, it's like $100. And then, shipping and all that, and the strawberry is so expensive. Why not do it all year?
You know what? Yeah, and that's true. It is overpriced, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to, go to the restaurant or get the flowers. A simple, hey, you know what, honey? I'm gonna cook for you. That's gonna be my gift to you.
Well, have you done that?
Of course I have. Why wouldn't I?
Your girlfriend's watching.
Listen, I don't mean to brag, but I'm a good cook. Okay. You asked me to make a nice prime rib. I got it.
Jennifer, what's the most romantic thing you've ever done for Valentine's Day?
Well, we're not big on Valentine's. We just do takeout or sometimes cook at home. We normally celebrate it, if we do celebrate it, like with my parents. Nothing like, oh, we got to be on a special date or anything like that. And, you know, I love Lucille's barbecue ribs.
Hey, get down.
Mashed potatoes.
Get down. All you need is a bib. Well, I guess for me, would you say that Valentine's Day, it has a greater effort on the man, like the burden of like making sure like everything goes accordingly, or that's a good time, or is it split 50-50, or is it just like?
I think it depends on the relationships. You know, for myself and my fiance, we kind of go halves. You know, it depends what we do, and you know, sometimes we do get gifts. Got a bike last year, which I really wanted.
Nice.
So, you know, it happens.
And this is coming from the person that doesn't like to celebrate Valentine's
Yeah,
Day.
apparently.
Okay? No, but you know what? I was raised traditionally, and not saying that this is the way it should be, but for the most part, yeah, I take care of the finances. You know, I feel like as the guy, you know, if we're gonna go out to dinner, what's the gentleman thing to do? You pay for the dinner. You know, you open the door, or you know. You do what you got to do. And that's just me. So to answer your question, it is a big burden because you got to start saving up. You know, you got to get the finances somewhere. So
Unless you do the dinner at home, then it's not bad.
unless you do the dinner at home. Thank you for bringing that up again. But yeah, I mean, it's not saying it's a bad burden. You know, I don't mind, but you do think about it. It does cross your mind.
What about you, Shantae? You're not in a relationship, so. What do you
I don't
think?
know what I'll be doing this Valentine's Day. Maybe getting with the girls. I know for some people they kind of switch the whole concept and make it a single awareness day. So maybe that's something I'll be getting into. I don't know. You know, I know Valentine's Day is for your romantic partner, whatever it may be. But I think it's also something that can extend towards family and friends. And I don't know. Maybe I'll just be cuddling with my cat, watching Netflix. Yeah.
What about your parents? Well, why don't you just go to your parents' house and maybe go celebrate with them?
But they should be doing their own thing. I should be doing my own thing. They should be doing their own thing. But yeah. I guess kind of switching gears from Valentine's Day, maybe talking about chivalry and if that's something that still exists. Because you were talking about how, I'm kind of traditional and things like that. I mean, where would you stand, Jennifer, especially since you're engaged and all?
Well, you know, we share bank accounts now and we share all the information. Planning a wedding is expensive and a lot of work. But, you know, we also still have that fine line where some things are his and some things are mine. And, you know, we don't disclose everything. I mean, you got to keep a little something to yourself to, you know, always have something to talk about.
You know what? Before we go any further with this discussion, I just want to make it out to everybody. She did say that Jennifer's engaged. Jennifer, let's see that ring.
Yeah, let's
real
see that
quick here.
rock.
Look at that
There you
thing.
go.
So shiny. It's pretty darn heavy, and I'm a strong guy, okay?
Thank you,
Well,
thank you.
you know what? Listening to what you were saying earlier, I'm glad you were talking about having privacy and things of that nature because we're going to be bringing out a guest who's going to be talking about relationship advice and things of that nature. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. There will be more when we return from the buzz.
Good one, son.
Last summer, my new dad took me on vacation. First, we went deep sea fishing. Wow!
I'm so proud of you, son.
And then we went on Thunder Shark. That was awesome! Let's go again. 3 times. I gotta say, it was pretty cool.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Oh, not again.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back. Joining us right now is founder and CEO of a dating service called The Real Matchmaker. Thank you, Jessie K, for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your service.
I am a full-fledged real matchmaker, hence the name. I have, today actually is my 19th year in this business, so it's my anniversary today.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. I work with professional singles who are looking to upgrade their social life.
Well, we have some relationship questions, so let's get to them. Our first question comes from Elizabeth Davies.
In your opinion, how would you recommend setting up a profile for online dating?
So Jessie, how would you answer that question?
I tell singles that they have to try and do everything because you have to put yourself out there. So don't be shy and get out there and fill out a profile and have updated pictures. That's the most important. Update your pictures.
How old or how long can you get away with photos?
I think having pictures within the last 6 months is an adequate picture profile.
So definitely not something that's like a year old, because you go on that date and the people will probably look at you like,
that's not you.
Yeah, that's not you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all go through changes, so having something within the last 6 months is going to be important. And they have to be playful pictures. You know, you don't always want to be serious, and you also don't want to include other people in your pictures. They're looking to date you, not other people.
Now, how about for those that don't want to answer every single question truthfully? I know I'd probably be a little, sketchy about answering it. What would you give? What kind of advice would you give to them?
Well, first of all, I do think you should be truthful. Okay. That's number one. But I also think you don't need to throw up your whole life on somebody within the first time you're meeting them. Save something for the later dating process. Mystery is sexy.
Hey, so maybe I should be like the, man behind the mask, right?
Yeah, that suits you well.
Thank you. So actually, Jesse, we have another question. This one comes from Jay McHamlin. Let's go to him.
Well, I'm a personal believer that if you're in a committed relationship, you should not have any secrets from each other, which would include your passwords on your phone, Facebook, any kind of social media you're involved in. So my question would be, do you concur with that?
So Jesse, tell me, how would you answer that?
Well, that's a tricky question. I can answer it in two parts. I think if you're married, I think you do share your information. You share passcodes, you keep your life open to that person because you're in a committed married relationship. I do think, though, on the other hand, if you're in a committed relationship with a boyfriend and girlfriend situation, I do think you have boundaries, and you have to keep those boundaries because it's the old saying, curiosity kills the cat. Well, curiosity can be a devastating emotion, so you have to kind of keep some things at hand's length.
Maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but if you're in a committed relationship that could possibly lead to marriage, for me, I don't think once you're married you start acting differently. So I kind of see it as a prerequisite of how you should have transparency and accountability. I mean, I don't know what you guys think.
Well, I've been in a relationship for 9 years now. We're getting married this year. And we disclose a lot, but we don't share like email passwords. We do share like passwords to bank accounts and things like that. So it's kind of like a give and take, I think, for us.
Sure, I think it's a touchy subject. I mean, I would say that for most people, we have a curiosity and nosy part to us. So you don't want to become obsessed with checking in on your mate because then it will actually, the relationship will automatically derail at that point, just based on curiosity alone.
And talking about, you mentioned obsession. And let's say you do notice something like that with your partner. How do you go about dealing with that, or simply acknowledging that to your partner and talking about it?
You mean possession or obsession?
Obsession.
I do think that, again, we're going to come back to the word being truthful to each other. So you sit down, you're very sincere with each other, you work out, your sincerity, and part of it is trusting each other. If you don't trust your mate, you're in the wrong relationship.
So that's probably a relationship killer.
Absolutely.
What do you think are some really big relationship killers?
Some relationship killers would be obviously asking for passcodes. I think also answering other people's phones, picking up other people's phones and reading text messages. Text messages can be very confusing and deceiving. I also think, wanting to spend every second with somebody, giving them a break and having their own life is important.
And how about finances? I know finances could be very stressful, even if you're by yourself, and now you're dealing with somebody else as well. How do you go about, because we spoke about this earlier, I was raised traditionally, so usually I pay for everything, which is a big stress, but what should we do in that case? Should we share it 50-50? Should I just keep on going with it?
Well, I think with finances, again, and I'm a traditional girl as well. So I do think that guys should pick up the tab, especially within the first month of dating. But there's things girls can do too, like make a meal for him, invite him over for a lunch date, have a picnic. Those are things that are easy and they don't cost a lot.
You know, going back to relationship killers, I just can't get this out of my mind that if someone's insecure or they don't trust someone so easily, the burden proof falls on the partner, not so much on the person to believe in that. I just don't know. I guess why do people do that in a sense? I mean, why do you think it's like, oh, you know, maybe my last relationship he was cheating on me, and you kind of carry on that baggage and you kind of punish the future partner for what someone else did, right?
Right. It happens a lot in dating. And so again, the word trust comes up, and you have to go into this believing in that the person in front of you is being honest. And the minute that you don't believe it, you should sit down and have a real talk. And once you have a real talk, then it should be done. It should be settled. And you have to move forward and trust each other and love each other.
There you go.
It's important.
Don't bring it up again.
No, it's important. Don't keep it up.
We talked about I'm getting married this year. What would you recommend that can make a long, happy marriage?
Congratulations, by the way. You know, I've been in the same relationship for 6 years, and I think keeping it spicy is always very important. So, you know, you always don't want to do everything at home, and I'm talking about being intimate. You don't want to do all of that at home.
You said spicy.
You know,
Yeah,
right?
I knew
Keep
what it
it
meant.
spicy. You know, go some other places. You also want to, you know, remember to say I love you when you wake up and I love you when you go to bed. That's something that I pride myself on with my mate. I also think that you have to be very open with your communication. There's no secrets in my relationship. So keeping open with that partner will keep it fresh.
And you said the words, I love you. A big question a lot of people a lot of times have is, how do you know what love is? How do you know when you fall in love?
Because it can be routine, right?
Yeah.
It's like I say I love you, good morning.
So how do you know? Like, do you look for any signs, anything that really tells you, hey, you're in love and that person loves you?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm excited every day to be around my mate. I still get goosebumps or get lightheaded when I see him smile from across the room. And I think those are important things to keep it fresh. And I also think that you need to share in some kind of an activity. So it's important, like if you like golf, then you should learn to take up golf as his partner. And or if you like to cook, maybe he starts to help you cook and cut up things on the cutting board. It's easy to, you know, slip aside from each other, but as long as you keep it together and you keep open communication and you guys learn to love each other a lot, it'll stay fresh and new.
But then having that break in between, maybe girls' dinner time.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody has to have, you know, somewhat of their own life, even married couples. You have to have friend time, family time, and work time.
Well, you know, you talked about what could spice up something. What could make something stale, I guess, a relationship stale?
I think when you come home and you talk about work all the time, or you come home and you don't share your day, you know, the fun stuff in your day, I think that can keep it stale. And I also think if everything becomes so routine, it's, you know, you come home, you fix dinner, you watch TV, and you go to bed, well, you're probably going to end up in a dead road at some point.
Yeah, earlier we were talking about Valentine's Day, and I think what has helped my parents being married for over 35 years is he brings her flowers randomly.
Oh, that's
you
sweet.
know, and I don't know, I hope I get something like that, not just Valentine's Day.
Relationships take work.
Yeah, they do. A lot of work. And maybe that's why people tend to be serial daters, I guess, because they're, you know, they get bored or whatever, or maybe just lack of interest. I don't know. Just, I guess it's just how it is nowadays.
It is. There's so many options out there right now. So it's important that you know what you want and that you go after what you want and that you keep positive.
I agree. I totally agree. Well, Jessie K, thank you so much for sharing your words of wisdoms. I think we got something from the discussion, right?
Definitely.
We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back when we return.
Hey, this job looks perfect. It says you need people skills.
Check.
Driver's license.
Check.
And a high school diploma. You got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that. You are good to go.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Our next guest is a familiar face in the Hawthorne community. He's a board member of the Hawthorne School District, organizer of the annual Family and Pet Extravaganza, and now he's combining his love for children and for training dogs. Check out this video.
My name is Luciano Aguilar, and I am a Hawthorne School Board member, and my goal is to bring in a team of therapy dogs into our school district. One of my passions, aside from everything else that I do, is our schools, our children.
Aguilar, a certified dog trainer, is training these dogs to be desensitized to noise and unusual situations, so they'll be ready for anything when they begin visiting schools.
By bringing in just the presence of an animal calms the situation, and you know, sometimes we have kids that are dealing with certain things, and actually allow them to focus more on what the lesson is that's being taught.
The busy family man and entrepreneur says finding time to give back to the youth in Hawthorne is important to him.
I just wanted to, as far as for myself, just be one of those guys that, you know what, you don't need money to give back. Your time, your energy, that's really all you need. You can create so much just based on the team of people that you already have around you.
And here joining us is Luciano. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us about your dog therapy program.
So I've been working with dogs for a really long time, and I've been trying to incorporate everything that I do, you know, just kind of mesh it all together. And I was sitting with some friends that we actually started as they were customers of mine, and they started researching this idea of bringing therapy dogs into the schools. And as you know, I mean, dogs just automatically eliminate so many stressors when you bring them into any type of environment. So then we started doing our homework, and we saw that there was an organization that we could actually be a part of. And they have the insurance, they kind of have all the groundwork already set up for you. You just have to have somebody that's kind of well-versed in the dog world to kind of run it for you. Not really run it, but just be there, right? To make sure that everything goes good. So I figured, you know, hey, I'm a dog trainer, I'm on the school board, let's put the two together and see if it would work. So I had to go in and talk to our superintendent, and she thought it was a great idea. So we've just started all the legwork, and we're very close to bringing that into the Hawthorne School District.
Awesome.
How hard is it to train a dog?
You know, it's not hard. It's not hard to train a dog. It just, a lot of it is patience and validating your words. You know, so it's you give the command, and you don't give the dog the choice. When you ask the dog to do something, you just kind of teach them. You show them. You don't have a choice, you're going to do it, whatever it is. And that's one of my biggest things that I've been harping on with all my customers right now is, you know, if you're going to say something, follow through, because the dog knows nothing else. If you let the dog get away with something, then that's going to be what you get at the end of the day. You don't mean it.
Do they have to be puppies, or can you teach an old dog new tricks?
Absolutely. That's one of the biggest myths that I'm like, you know, totally against, is you can definitely teach an old dog new tricks. Doesn't have to be a puppy. It's actually easier to teach an older dog something as opposed to a puppy, because a puppy's still trying to develop its brain, where the older dog, you know, you got to sweep out the cobwebs a little bit, but once the dog starts learning what to expect from you, it's super easy to teach a dog something.
Well, let's talk about you getting into dog training, because from what I heard, you didn't like dogs growing up.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest, I guess, selling points in the media side of the house in my life, is they say I grew up scared of dogs. To this day, my dad still says, I remember when you were a little kid and I used to have to pick you up because you were crying because there was a stupid dog there, and you know, we couldn't have any. And but what happened was I joined the Air Force, and I spent 10 years serving our country. And at about the 5-year point, I had a choice to make whether I wanted to continue doing what I was doing or explore new options. Well, one of the options was dogs. So I I went out to the kennels to see if I could even do this, because even in the military, I was still scared of dogs. I remember sitting in the patrol car, and there's cages back there, so the dog can't get to you, but I'm still sitting at the front of the seat, and everyone's like, "Will you relax? The dog's not even doing nothing." And I was like, "No, I'm good. Trust me, I'm good, man, I'm good." So, and I couldn't wait to get out of that car. So what ended up happening was when I went out to the kennels, they put me in the bite gear, and doing that turned that fear that I had for the dog into adrenaline. It's almost kind of like seeing your fears, right? You face them. I was scared of the dog bite, took a dog bite, and then I was like, oh my goodness. So it turned in almost like a baseball player catching a ball. It was like, how crazy can I get with this whole dog thing and catching the dog? And I just fell in love with it.
Oh, wow.
Now, you're talking about dog bites and the padding that you had to wear in order to go through that process. There's one event that I remember where we had our superintendent wanting to take a bite from the dog. What was going through your head when she made that request?
You know, I was like, really? Seriously? You want to really? I mean, and this came from her. I mean, I asked, could I bring the dog into the show? Because, you know, I mean, we have insurances, everything is safe, you know, but she goes, the only way you can do it is if you let me take a bite from your dog. And I was like, really? So she put the sleeve on, and you know, I did it on leash. I did it very safe. But then afterwards, I go, "Were you scared?" And she goes, "No, I trusted you 100%.
Oh, wow.
I knew you would never put me in harm's way, and I just wanted to feel what you feel when the dog is kind of shaking you around. But I knew you weren't going to put me in harm's way. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, that made me feel good. It's like, this lady trusts me, you know, because you have this 90-pound Belgian Malinois coming at you, you know, so yeah, she's kind of crazy.
Well, that's putting a lot of faith in you, which is really a compliment. You're an entrepreneur. I don't know how many businesses you own. What is it, 3 or so?
At least, but I mean, I try to get involved in as much as I can.
You're a Hawthorne School Board District. You put on a citywide event for all the residents, really. I mean, what motivates you? How are you able to kind of dip your hands into so many different areas?
You know, it's funny because one of the things I remember telling my wife before I left the military was, because I was not able to be around so much for the kids, because, you know, traveling the mission and that type of stuff, you know, I told her, when I get out, I want to try to do something where I can involve the kids, and that's where the whole dog training, you know, maybe I should do dog training, because had I become a police officer, which was the norm, you know, everybody gets out of the military, at least in because I was a cop, I was military police. So I didn't want to go that route, because I would have been in the same situation where I could not be around my kids too much. So I decided to do dog training, because I go, come on, man, it'll be great. I'm going to go to parks. The kids could come to the park with me. They could be playing on the swing set while I'm playing with the dog, or they could be involved with that as well. And I was like, it's the best.
It became a great merger, right?
Right.
Well, Luciano, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I want to thank our earlier guest, Jessie K, for coming on our show, with sharing so much advice with us. That does it for this edition of The Buzz. Thanks for watching. If you have a topic you'd like to discuss or would like to be a guest on our show, call 310-349-1630. See you next time.